We talk a lot about education on this broadcast because I strongly believe that public education is the great equalizer in our great American society. And if the quality of education in this country could be measured and assured by how much money we spend, our students would be on the top, the very top of the world. We spend on average per student each year $10,500 per pupil. Can you imagine? Federal spending on elementary and secondary education has almost quadrupled, going from $33 billion back in 1970 to an unbelievable $115 billion, just federal money, $115 billion in that period of time. By the way, teacher unions, and they're going to yell at me and scream and email me, but they're a big part of the reason that this is happening. Teachers now make 40% more in pay and benefits than non-union teachers. 40% more. That's a very simple deal. Union, non-union. And nowhere that we're aware of is there that kind of differentiation at all in pay in any other industry or profession. But the United States, in point of fact, if this were about performance and the union folks were great or the non-union were great, the fact is the United States is 14th out of, it's amazing, 14th out of 34 OECD nations, the developed world. 17th in reading skills. 17th out of 34. And a below average, oh, you want to do math? Out of 34 countries, we're 25th. 25th. Teachers' unions, also part of the reason public employee unions are in such political trouble tonight as we're talking. Voters in Wisconsin and California, at least two major cities in California, have fought back, saying enough is enough. In Wisconsin, Governor Walker easily beat back that recall challenge, despite unions combining to spend more than $10 million organizing with a huge ground force throughout the state. But it wasn't labor's only defeat. In California, San Jose and San Diego, citizens there voted overwhelmingly to curb union power and pay, scaling back pensions for government workers. The San Diego measure, by the way, which shifts new workers to 401k type plans, won with an astonishing, in San Diego, 66% of the vote for the 401k plan rolling back those pensions. In liberal San Jose, by the way, San Diego and San Jose, as I said, voted for President Obama in 2008. 70% in San Jose supported the measure. 70%. We remind you, both of those cities did back the president, that California is a blue state. By the way, back in 2008, maybe you recall this, I had to be reminded of it. President Obama famously said he would walk on a picket line as president if union workers were denied their right to collectively bargain. So why are unions finally beginning to encounter pushback, strong pushback? In part because right now, organized labor in this country amounts to 12%. 12% of the workforce. That's down from 35% in the 1950s, down from 20% in the 1980s. And the direction is decidedly down. But what this doesn't focus on is what kind of workers make up that 12% in our economy. If the members from the public sector, the public employee unions, were pulled out of this, well, let's just put it this way. Those public employee unions are organized at the rate of 37% of public employees. 37%. That is 5 times higher than the number of private sector workers. If you pull these folks out, organized labor amounts to less than 10% of the labor force in this country. And second, voters are confronting the facts, and that is that unions are a drain on local budgets and that there has been a cycle of cronyism that has existed in this country now for 50 years. That is, government officials take taxpayer money, they give it to public employee unions give it back to those elected officials. That cycle has to be broken if we are to prevail, if common sense is to prevail, and we are to curtail public spending. We really have no choice.